at Kyalami for the final round of the Intercontinental GT Challenge powered by Pirelli. The Kyalami 9-hour Pole Shootout is about to get underway. The fastest 6 cars from the combined 3-part qualifying get set. It is a 15-minute session, and for this it is 1 driver per car. You nominate in advance who is going to drive if you qualify for the shootout, and that means that for the fastest car, the Honda, it's going to be behind the wheel of it Mario Farnbacher. Second fastest out of qualifying BMW number 34 is going to be hustled along by local hero Sheldon van der Linden. Number 7 Bentley by local hero Jordan Pepper. Fourth, number 12 Porsche, Matt Campbell. Fifth quickest out of qualifying 44 Audi, Christopher Haase did the time there and will drive in this. And 6th fastest in qualifying, the second Valkenhorst BMW, and David Pittard. He is nominated as the driver. So those are the 6 cars, the 6 drivers. Track temperature has been going up, and we look forward to seeing how the front of the grid is going to pan out at the end of this session. Gemma Scott is in the pits, David Addison and John Watson looking at the Bentley team going to work. Only one of the 2 cars got through to the top 6 shootout. Jordan Pepper, the South African driver, given driving duties, and the way that he was ragging that car in qualifying, he's going to be a man to watch.
He's been very strong all weekend. I mean, he's left nothing on the plate with the Bentley. As you would expect, he knows this racetrack inside out. But it's indicative. We've seen it all through the season. Jordan Pepper, I think, has been outstanding, and outstanding once again here in Kyalami.
So the backdrop to the circuit, radically different from the 1970s. The circuit itself has gone through different iterations, but it remains a challenge, and the Kyalami 9-hour recreating the great sports car races of the 1960s, early 1970s, came back onto the international calendar last year, was a real hit, and it's just such a shame this year, like so many events, motorsport and other, being affected by COVID-19 and no fans being allowed on site. But the entry that we have, smaller than last year, but a very high quality one. Not just a race, but a championship on the line as well.
Very much so. And what has proven interesting through these pre-qualifying and now qualifying sessions, we've just seen those 3 qualifying sessions, is that what might one assume would be the logical favourite, and in particular, as the 54 Porsche Dynamic Motorsport, only 10th quickest, hasn't made it through. They've got an issue. They won't be able to find that issue until the lights go. The lights go out. The track goes green at the start of the 9-hour of Kyalami, and that's a headache for that 54 Dynamic Motorsport team.
It is indeed. This is a farewell also to Bentley Team Sport as a operation, and one of those Bentley boys, Jules Gounod, his thoughts going to the whole shootout. He's talking to Gemma Scott.
Jules, we spoke earlier on. You had your lucky socks on. You've still got your lucky socks on, in fact, and it's paid off. You're through to the shootout.
Yeah, really, I was not so happy with my lap actually in Q2, but then the team told me we were P1, so then you are obviously happy, and Jordan did a really good job on Q3. Max had a bit of traffic, I think in Q1 something happened, but yeah, we are through shootout. This morning we will not believe it, but we found some tricks on the car in pre-quali. We used 2 sets of new tires in pre-quali, so we're going to have 1 less for the race, but I think we needed really to put 1 more set to try to find the balance, and we've finally found it. And so we are really happy now. Jordan, as a local boy and the superstar boy from here, is going to do a super pole, and I'm sure he's going to deliver.
Well, for him, of course, like you say, it's his home circuit. He must know it very, very well.
Yeah, he knows it very well, and I think the excitement of being one of the only South African in the world, there are 3 with Sheldon and Kelvin, to be professional driver, factory driver, is a good pressure, positive pressure. So I have full trust on him, and tomorrow we are bringing new socks with the Safari one. I told you, you will see it on the grid. And now we are feeling, it's our last weekend, so we are just enjoying. And I think when you enjoy what you are doing in life, normally it comes positive. So let's continue to enjoy, do a good shootout, but the race is long, and hopefully we'll have some luck during the race.
Absolutely. Keep enjoying it, and we look forward to seeing the socks tomorrow.
Yeah, I will show you. Thank you.
There'll be another seminal motorsport historian's book about Jules Gounod and his socks, and racing driver and socks. Time and 2 Socks, possibly by Jan Swinfen next, to follow from Time and 2 Seats. But the lucky socks has been a talking point of today. Let's see what number 7 can do in the hands of Jordan Pepper then, as that car gets set for this pole shootout. So 15 minutes they have. Now, how do you tackle this? Do you go out first and do a banker, or do you just have one shot at it and do you let everybody else go first, rubber up the track for you, and then you do your one banzai effort at the very end?
Yes.
Thanks,
Everybody
team
has
manager.
a different approach. So somebody will go out early, somebody will go out in the middle, and somebody will go out at the end.
Yeah.
Ordinarily, the circuit will be at its best at the point when the checkered flag falls to end it. But if you get all 6 cars hanging around, or are they going to go out in order? Is it a 15-minute free for all?
As I understand it, yes.
Okay, free for all. I mean, the one thing you want to do is make sure, and even with 6 cars on a racetrack, you can find yourself tripping over somebody. Find clear air, that's the first priority. Ideally, you want to go out maybe a few minutes into the session just to assess the car. Do that on a set of tires you've run on already. And then when you're ready to go, put on your fresh set of rubber, your brand new set of sticker tires, and just cross everything and hope that the track has evolved to its best in that closing maybe lap or 2 laps within the 15-minute segment.
You get a new set of tyres for this, and of course this will determine the front 3 rows on the grid. We're talking about sticker tyres, in other words, a brand new set. You see one that's going on to the Honda Racing entry there. Mario Farnbacher at the wheel of the Team Honda Racing NSX GT3 2019. Good to go. He's been driving this car in America in the IMSA series, so he knows it inside out. If anybody is the man to do the job here, Mario Farnbacher is that driver. There's number 34 BMW that is going to be in the hands of Sheldon van der Linde. That is the black of the 2. The other car, the white one, is going to be in the hands of David Pittard. Valkenhorst ought to be pretty pleased, I would have thought, with its efforts here, because it's got both cars through into the pole shootout, which no other team or brand has managed to do. So good effort that from BMW.
I think it's confirming what we've been seeing. The BMW looks to be working particularly well. It doesn't look like it's a hard car on its tyres. The balance of the car through all the sections of the circuit, I've said in previous comments that it looks slow. It looks slow because the car is efficient. It's doing the job it's there to do. The drivers are not having to chase the car. They're not having to fight the car. And we've seen amongst the field some drivers and some brands are having to struggle big time to try and drag a time out.
Mario Farnbacher gets on board. There is just the one Honda, so that has qualified. Well done for Team Honda Racing. But that car set to go for this pole shootout, which is going to be getting underway in just a few minutes' time. Mario Farnbacher strapped into that car, and they'll soon get the green lights on at the end of the pit lane, so he's going to be released. And the 6 cars that we have for this 15-minute shootout ready to go. So as I say, Honda, BMW, Bentley, Porsche, Audi, and BMW that we have for this 15-minute pole shootout, with Mario Farnbacher's car being the fastest at the end of that earlier 3-part qualifying. And as soon as the race director is happy and we've got to the allotted slot, then the pit lane lights can go green and we will be in business. But the Honda has gone exceptionally well all day, not only in qualifying, but pre-qualifying this morning as well.
Yeah, I mean, straight out of the box, quickest by a country mile. That time was never seriously challenged towards the end. A couple of tires got in within a couple of tenths, maybe less than a couple of tenths. But the Honda maintained that advantage all the way through. And it's done very much the same. I mean, that last lap by Farnbacher, the only driver to break the 1-minute 42-second barrier here this weekend, is indicative of what we've been able to watch since we went on air earlier this morning for pre-qualifying. So the number 12 Porsche, everybody's sitting back in the pit lane just waiting for the circuit to open.
Now, hopefully Gemma in the pit lane is going to be able to work with more drivers. We do get the session underway. Gemma, who have you got?
Nick, great to see both BMWs made it through to the shootout. Not necessarily what you were expecting at some point yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with that car, we struggled a little bit with a small technical issue that cost us the 4 hours of practice before the event actually started. So we were on the back foot, but the Walking Horse crew did a great job with our BMW, and yeah, definitely got it in the window. We could obviously work with the other car to, have a good base and good starting point. And yeah, everyone did a really solid lap in that shootout and made it through to the top 6. So now we'll see what both Sheldon can do in the 34 and David can do with the 35 car.
How are they both feeling ahead of this session now?
Yeah, I think pretty good. David's first shot at the pole shootout, so I'm sure he's very excited. Sheldon was mega fast, I think, in that last session in Q3. And obviously, being South African, he's one of the home favourites, so it'd be good to see both cars up on the front row, of course. And yeah, being from the 35 car, obviously, I want that car to be at the front.
Absolutely, a BMW front row would be mega.
Exactly.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Right, so let's find out what is going to be at the very front. We've had a few surprises so far, so if you get your money out, John, who are you going to put it on for pole position?
One has to say, Honda's got it all done and dusted, except they've got 15 minutes. Everybody, these 6 cars, 15 minutes to go out and depose the dominance that we've seen from Honda so far throughout today. It's inevitable that circumstances, track temperature, slightly cooler, ambient, slightly cooler. Whether Farnbacher tries to over-egg the pudding and go even quicker than he's done so far, we don't know. It'll be only when the checkered flag falls. But you have to say, go with the times we've seen today. The Honda appears to have it as a done deal.
I'm interested as well to see how they're going to treat this, whether, as we were suggesting earlier, it is just one Banzai lap. How many laps can you get out of that set of tyres? What you don't want to do is drive round and round and round for 15 minutes. You've got to time it absolutely right. So perhaps it is going to be at the end. You can, I suspect, use an old set to go out and do a banker, see what the car is like, what the track is like, and then try and nail it late on. But with the front 3 rows of the grid being decided here, I think everybody's prepared to let others go out first and see what they can do.
Yes, and everybody appears to be on a set of sticker tyres, a brand new set of tyres. Bentley out early, so they've chosen to do the option when the track is clear. Gives them the best chance. There's no other car. The one thing the Bentley does, it ratchets a lot on the shock absorbers. A lot of vertical movement. You see it coming out of turn 16, particularly just running over the curb. Just the back of the car, you notice just bouncing up and down. So here we go. Jordan Pepper, what can he do? What can he drag out of the Bentley?
Now we're looking here, ideally, for a time in the 141s. That is what Mario Farnbacher got the Honda into in Q3, a 1 minute 41.979. So Jordan Lee Pepper, to give him his full Sunday title, accelerates now up through the Jutski Sweep, heads towards the left at Barbecue Bend, and he's out wide over the curb, but he is hustling on, and he's still trying to get the tyres, and the pressure's up, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, again, the ambient temperature, the track temperature, I don't know why it's an issue for teams and drivers to get that pressure temperature set correctly, but he was certainly moving around as he came up into Sunset now through Clubhouse. Well, there you go. Another car out on track, and that may or may not become an issue with Jordan Pepper. Depends where he's going to catch it. Hopefully, with only 6 cars on the track, everybody is aware they have to cooperate. So it's going to be after Leerkop, the highest part of the circuit. It'll be the drop down through the mine shaft and then into that sequence of corners, Crocodile and then Cheetah. So Porsche stays to the left of the racetrack. Does a good job. That's the number 12 Porsche. So observant, and let Jordan Pepper continue on unimpeded.
Matt Campbell it was that gets out of the way, so this is going to be the benchmark time. As I say, it needs to be in the very low 1 minute 40s, a 41, maybe even better than that. Maybe a 1 minute 40 itself is a big ask, but is Jordan Pepper going to do it? He's going to head for the pit lane.
He bailed out of it. He bailed coming into Crocodile. Don't know why. He's clearly not happy with something. Or did Bentley put on a set of sticker tyres or not? We didn't see that. I think which set of tyres went on again. Look at Matt Campbell likewise. That bit of lateral side to side to try and put temperature not so much into the tread itself but into the sidewall to generate more higher temperature. Surface temperature is only one part of getting heat into your tyres.
So everybody has ventured out, at least for a look at the circuit. This is David Pittard, who is going to head up towards the timing line. And what's he going to be able to do? Let us see. Goes through now. That's a start-up lap, so he's on to a flyer now. But all of that, going on to your first proper flying lap, that takes out the first third of the session.
Yes, it is. 10 minutes remaining. So the BMW exits out of Crowthorne. The car looks like it's on rails. Whether it's quick rails or slow rails, I don't know. But certainly the car looked pretty stable again. At a barbecue, we've got the sister car just ahead of it. So again, one hopes that there's cooperation between both BMW drivers. Sheldon van der Linde in the 34, that's the black with the racing BMW Motorsport colours. There's the white BMW with BMW Motorsport colours as well.
And David Pittard is hustling on, isn't he? So from many, many seasons of UK club racing, finally he's starting to make a name for himself in British GT, but it's as a Nordschleifer expert that he's really come to the attention of Valkenhorst and BMW. He's won the qualifying race, he's won this year the opening round of the newly titled Nürburgring Endurance Series, and although he was here last year with the team, didn't actually get to drive. He was here just in case they needed a reserve driver, but David Pittard, who spends quite a lot of his time these days, it seems, out in Germany, has flown under the radar, but a very, very talented young British driver, and comes then down towards Crocodile through that right-hander up towards the end of the lap. Now, Matt Campbell has done a time, and it's a modest time, in the 48, so there's a lot more to come, but that's the benchmark, 1:48.025. What can David Pittard do now? This should be quicker as the BMW comes into turn 16 then, lets it drift out wide there towards the curb, up towards the line. He's got other cars still starting the flying lap ahead of him, a 41, a 42 point, no, a 1:43.001.
So that's a good opening score for David Pittard. Let's see what Matt Campbell and the 12 Porsche is going to do, coming through Sunset. That's the car run wide just to clip the curb on the exit, the apex. It's a very steep curb at the apex of Clubhouse. Again, if you ride that curb, it will throw the car too far right to the right. So where is the first sector time?
In Sector 1, it is a personal best, but 3/10 down on what David Pittard did.
Well, that isn't particularly good.
No.
In fact, very disappointing. That's only by a tenth and a bit of a second. So whether the tyre performance is going to pick up as we go through, coming up now to the conclusion of Sector 2, I'm assuming it's going to be it's not. It's fastest overall, mind you. We've only had 3 cars go through a flying lap.
Somebody else is doing a good job is in the other BMW, Sheldon van der Linde. He's done the absolute best in Sector 1. So Matt Campbell then, who I promise you is more than a 10th down in the first section. The graphic on this, but he's coming up to the timing line. Where is this going to put him? He needs to be in the 42s. Is he going to be in the 42s? He should be. And Matt Campbell comes across the line. Yes, 1:42.516 then to go to the top of the times now. That puts the Porsche onto pole position.
Bear in mind the Honda, and the last segment of qualifying did a 41.9, and the best we've got is a 42.6 of a second away. So there's another lap for Pittard. Can he make any further improvement? He's just under a second behind Matt Campbell. No, he stays. He's made an improvement. He made it about 4.5, 4 just. So he got pretty close to Matt Campbell on that second lap.
And Sheldon van der Linde has gone fastest behind him in the other BMW, 1:41.944 now. So Sheldon van der Linde goes to the top in the black BMW. This car pressing on is Jordan Pepper, who is currently the slowest, or 6th if you prefer, but he's yet to do a lap time. Now, where is this going to put him? He's got to be in the mid-41s now to have any realistic chance at pole.
Should go 3rd on the base of the sector times. Comes across start-finish line. Quickest. Wow.
So Jordan Pepper, pole from one South African to another, but what about Mario Farnbacher then? He did a 41 earlier on in the day. Now he's got to be in the very low 1:41s, and I think he's going to do it as he comes across the line. Yeah, a 1:41.581. Great effort.
And a considerable amount quicker than the excellent time by Jordan Pepper. Well, I say considerable by just 0.142 of a second. Matt Campbell out on charge down into the final turn. But you can see 3/10 down in the first sector, 4/10 second sector. He'll be in the top 6, obviously.
Right, Matt Campbell over the line, 4th. So coming here, a point back on the Vanthoor Bamber combination, and looking stronger as far as the championship is concerned on the evidence of pure pace from today. Session's got 5.5 minutes to go, so we're almost into that last third. We've not seen anything out of this car yet. Christopher Haas's Audi.
This is the one car that might upset the top 3. Christopher Haas, well, no, not looking at those sector times. It's not going to make any difference. The top 3, it's going to be, well, 4th, 5th, 6th, and which is it? 4th. Good effort, nevertheless. First Audi, and the only Audi in the top 6.
And what that serves to do is push David Pittard down to 6th, strangely. So it's almost as every car comes over the line, it has a go at being on pole position. Jordan Pepper rally crossing his way then out of turn 15. He is still hustling on. He's dropped 2 tenths, you can see, in that middle sector. Farnbacher on this lap has done another absolute best in sector 1. So what can Jordan Pepper do by way of responding? He stays second fastest. That lap was 41.8, so he dropped to 10th. This is Farnbacher, who's absolutely on a knife edge.
But fractionally down in second sector and up in sector 1. I mean, he is absolutely, the car is stunning. He's driven the wheels off it. Lap time 141.6, and well, that's just a tenth away from his previous fastest lap. Consolidation. That Honda is the dominant brand here so far.
But with an absolute best in sector 1 and sector 3, so a messy middle didn't help, and a messy end for Matt Campbell here. 4 minutes are on the clock, but another car running way wide, coming out of turn 15. That's 16 completed. He comes up towards the line. It ain't going to be pole. It ain't going to be much of an improvement. So Matt Campbell then stays 5th fastest, actually dropped 7 tenths on that lap against his best. Have the tyres had their edge now?
Yeah, he, look, watch, he goes way, clip the curb. Again, that's that curb you've got to be so careful of coming through Cheetah. Clip the curb, force the car out to the left, off the racetrack. I mean, Jordan Pepper, Matt Campbell have had an unenviable task to try and catch the Honda provisional pole, which is going to be there. I don't see anybody remaining who's going to go out and challenge it. Jordan Pepper has gone fastest overall in sector 1, but lost 3 tenths of a second in the middle sector. So that first sector effort, outstanding. Middle sector, don't know where he lost the time, but he's lost far too much. So nothing more he can do. Again, hitting the curb and unsettling the car. So disappointment after that excellent first sector time.
It is indeed. So here is Jordan Pepper now then, heading up towards the line. A low 41 is the target, and he's not going to do that, is he? Into the 42. So it started well and then unravelled around.
Yeah, just simply driving the car beyond the car's capacity, and there was no grip left, and consequently couldn't challenge for that pole position.
Now what about Mario Farnbacher? Can he go quicker again? He was good in sector 1, down in sector 2, down in sector 3. So that lap is a 41.8, 3 tenths off what he did early on, but the Honda is just looking so impressive thus far.
And it's consistent because it's done 3 laps now. The best is a 41.5, the last is 41.8, the middle one was a 41.6. I mean, that is very impressive that you can get 3 laps in that 1 minute 42 benchmark. We've got 3 cars under 1 minute 42, that's the top 3 cars. Everybody else is 142.2, 0.2, 0.5.
So Sheldon van der Linde's BMW, 3rd fastest, the sister car of David Pittard, 6th. That is van der Linde, and he comes then down to the completion of the lap, turns his way through Crocodiles up towards Ingway. This has been the corner, catching out many with that sausage curb on the inside. Hit that, it acts as a ramp, doesn't it? Launches you across the road. Absolutely,
you've got to keep your right front wheel way from it, because it will launch you, it'll throw you off to the left. You'll lose all the time you've worked very hard to get a time. So the BMW stays in 3rd place, 141.891. Was the best lap from Sheldon van der Linde. That car's best lap in the shootout, but not good enough to get onto the front row of the grid.
So there is time just to start another lap, but I think most people have probably had the most out of that set of tyres for a pure Banzai effort at pole position. And Mario Farnbacher by a 10th, everybody covered by 9 tenths of a second across the 6th in the session. Although having said that, here, Sheldon van der Linde looks like he's still having a go.
He is, and he's pushing. And I don't know whether he feels he's got anything left under him to push, but certainly if there is, if it's just like 4900th of a second down in that first sector, it's not impossible. It is not impossible that Sheldon van der Linde could depose Jordan Pepper for that second position on the front row of the grid, because he is very close. Depends what his middle sector is going to be, and that will either make or break the last lap checkered flag. Well, it's going to be, he will actually get across, be very close to checkered flag coming out. No way, 5 tenths on. So he might as well go into the pits. He's backed out of it anyway, you can see.
Absolutely. So Sheldon van der Linde set to be 3rd, barring anything discovered post-session, but we're not aware of any incidents or any penalties, and they're already celebrating at Honda because Mario Farnbacher by 0.142 of a second has gone fastest, and there he should stay because there's nobody else out there now that's going to respond. The flag goes out. So we have a Honda pole position in the Intercontinental GT Challenge powered by Pirelli there. Renger van der Zande and Bertrand Baguette in the Honda uniform, now with their regulation Pirelli caps, can congratulate one another, but the hard yards put in by Mario Farnbacher behind the wheel.
He's done it all day and been outstanding, and as was Jordan Pepper in the Bentley to get that car through to the top. And 10th and a half of a second of Honda. They should be pleased with that.
Number 7 Bentley then for second on the grid, and just over a 10th separating the two, so it's going to be very, very competitive going into the Kyalami 9R. Tomorrow, the final round of the Intercontinental GT Challenge powered by Pirelli, and of course the championship decider, as well as a race in isolation. So the last time we had a Honda on pole was last year. We had Honda on pole again. Let's see the drivers then.
Congratulations to all three of you. That was a fantastic pole shootout. Honda are on the front row. It's official for Kyalami. Mario, great session.
Yeah, thank you. Nice sound here in the background.
Super Mario here.
Yeah, what I have to say, I have to thank the team, I have to thank Honda for putting this program together. I have to thank these guys and Dane Cameron, which also joined us for this year. I mean, we all developed, improved, and I think that's in the end all the success what we have right now for this qualifying. But still a long race tomorrow, so qualifying is just one little step before the long race. So maybe a little celebration now, but we will focus again for tomorrow.
Absolutely. I'm still loving the Super Mario music in the background. He really is. Bertrand, you know this circuit well, and you've helped to coach these two through this very early stage of the weekend.
Yeah, I coached them a lot, especially Mario. You see how fast he is now. So, no, I mean, he did a fantastic job. Really impressive lap times today in quali and in Superpole. He can be really proud of the job he did. Very impressive lap times. The car feels very good. I believe we will be strong in the race as well tomorrow, but it's a completely different story. So let's see what we can do. But starting on pole is always nice, always good. So yeah, we're gonna party a little bit tonight and celebrate.
Not too hard though, hey?
No.
Who's going to be starting in the car tomorrow?
Well, I don't think we discussed it yet, but I think the guy put it on pole so he can enjoy the free road in front of him, I would say. But let's see. It's going to be rainy, dry, all that, so it's nice to be on pole, and like you say, we're going to celebrate it and I think have a little drink, but altogether it's a long race and a lot can happen, so let's bring it on and let's see how we can also be on the top at the end of the 9-hour racing.
It'd be great to see. Congratulations once again. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really good job done by the Honda team. Second IGTC pole position for Honda. Mario Farnbacher then tops the times, 1 minute 41.581, 0.142 of a second quicker than Jordan Pepper. Third fastest, Sheldon van der Linde, a further 0.168 of a second back. Christopher Haase in the Audi, another 0.3 back, 0.343 shy. He's fourth. Fifth quickest, 400 slower than Haase, Matt Campbell, and sixth, David Pittard, with 0.983 of a second covering the top 6 in the Intercontinental GT Challenge final round qualifying effort. That pole shootout determining the front 3 rows of the grid. So the Honda, nice slippery shape as well, that car. And now, more than pace, it's reliability that's the key to the race now.
Let's look back here at some of the highlights of that shootout.
With early doors David Pittard getting the car up to the top of the times, but in the end that car falling away as though it had done its best early on. Christopher Haase saved his best until late and went fourth, but David Pittard in the BMW a 1:43.001. He did go quicker, in fact, as the session wore on. Matt Campbell was the next driver to come up and have a go for pole position. He did a 42.5, which put the GPX Racing Porsche as the fastest. And we have 3 other brands that came to have a go. BMW, then Bentley, then Honda at the top of the time. Matt Campbell, the car out of turn 16. In the end, was the Honda NSX GT3 in the hands of Mario Farnbacher that was the fastest by a tenth of a second, and Farnbacher in a went out here last year, the early part of the race. Good for tomorrow's Kyalami 9 hour. Eventually at the BMW. So, 9 hours of racing to do tomorrow. And for now, Watson, Gemma, and Addison.